I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this game of the Smite Draft League Week 3 Divine Division here. I'm Deelo, joined by Anthony Malum. We have here a treat for y'all. Kingslayers versus Flourish. Kingslayers going to take the order side, Flourish on the side of Chaos. Anthony, how we feeling?
I am feeling fantastic. I'm very excited for this Immortal division game, Deelo.
Oh my god.
You're okay, but I'm very excited. Kingslayers, I mean, I have no bias with casting. I just want to see exciting games, but Kingslayers was one of my predictions for being a top 2 team for Immortal. A bunch of players I like on there, and I really liked that it was a team that is designed to just kind of vibe and enjoy playing together, and also has skill, but really they're just here to have a good time and see how far they make it, which I adore.
And management will be removing Anthony from the cast shortly for team bias here. Get him on out. No, absolutely. These are both really good teams. We've been seeing them play incredibly well. Both have amazing assets to their sides. I'm looking forward to seeing. I've commented on a Kingslayers match. I know, especially, I'm looking to my friend Xarxith over there to see what she can do there. I've seen her put in some work on these very heavy ability damage based gods, but she's done some pretty non-conventional things with them. We've seen her even move a Tiamat to the carry. So I'm looking to see some interesting picks here, but right now we're gonna stick to some pretty traditional stuff here. We got some traditional bans. We got a traditional pick there with the Surtur being locked in on the side of the Kingslayers to start.
I like the Surtur lock-in. It guarantees you lane pressure. It's still relatively an unknown, especially for our league. We have yet to see SPL. Matter of fact, we will not see SPL for this particular patch. So it's kind of an unknown out there. All we know about Surtur is he wins lane, provides pressure, and kind of falls off late team fights, but you can utilize him. We saw the Osiris taken away. That is a go-to for ZombieBillyMays. We've also seen CEO run it a time or two, so taking that away is good. And I agree. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Tiamat get rocked out here for Xarxith. Very scary character in the hands of the right user.
Absolutely. It's been it's just always a threat. It can be a threat in the mid lane. It can be a threat in the carry. I mean, they unfortunately Kingslayers were not able to clinch out the game where they put that off, but Xarxith was undoubtedly the mainstay star of the show when it came to that, almost single-handedly turning team fights in the favor of the Kingslayers. So it would be interesting to see some of that non-conventionality brought back here. And in fact, we're gonna see it. It looks like Tiamat being locked in right away. It makes sense. It's the tale as old as time. Tale of the Tiamat.
The tail of the Tiamat. The tail of the Tiamat is it's a pretty long tail. It's very colorful. It's got big like synthwave vibes. But no, on the other side, I do like the Thor Ishtar. We can talk about it and we can repeat it. Every caster in every league, SPL down, says it a million times that Thor is a go-to, one of the best characters to ever be in Smite, and is a constant threat, both in jungle and in solo, which could be an option for both. I wouldn't be surprised to see A1 Rocket. But I'm personally looking forward to be jungle. I think Flourish is a team that's got very strong comms, a very good foundation of knowledge. So I think Thor being a more traditional pick will set them up for a lot of greatness. And this Ganesh going in the hands of Post, we know POSTDRAMA has an insane Ganesh. I think linking up that Thor with the Ganesh gives you incredible control of team fights and how you play them out.
A lot of setup potential there with the Dynamic Pillars, especially with the wall as well. I mean, Dynamic Pillars can essentially act as their own wall. You really don't want to be walking past those. Going to be hit with that massive slow and some decent damage to boot. Alongside the Thor's walls that are becoming in here, we're going to be seeing a decent amount of control picked off already with these first 3 picks. Ishtar as well has solid control to boot. So looking to be pretty CC heavy. And I'm liking to see that. It's going to be nice if they can hopefully get that coordination going, like you said. When it comes to God picks, of course, it's important to make sure that you have the right stuff to counter your team and all that. But when it comes down to what separates the good from the great, it's always going to be communication. This is not a one-player game. There's no I in team. You need to make sure you're working with those 4 other players on your team to ensure victory.
100%. I think you said it best. They should put that on a training video for when you lock into Smite as a new player. So something I'm looking at for Kingslayers is Gabba is a Season 1 veteran. We saw Gabba on the Harbingers in Season 1, and she was a very talented mid laner. The only limitation and thing that was constantly played around for Gabba Harbingers utilized essentially 2 mid laners. They had PF Sean and Gabba. And whichever person was playing, you could expect their god pool to utilize because they had a limited god pool. Not a bad limited god pool, definitely multiple characters. Morgan Le Fay is
This is going to
not
be terrible for us discussing the commentary. They're already trying to make it as difficult as possible between a Morgan and a Morgan Le Fay. If the Morgan
also true.
transforms into a Morgan Le Fay, I am going to simply put down my mic and turn it off.
You're going to dissipate. But this Morgan Le Fay was one of Gabba's, while it was played, it was definitely one of the least played ones I saw. And it was constantly one that I remember both myself and Kingfisher wishing we could see more of, because every time it came out, it felt like Gabba played a little bit more aggro and a little bit more confidently. So that's something that I would say to look for this game, is to see how Gabba plays as Morgan Le Fay in the mid lane. You have to assume this is a Robin jungle, and that's an interesting pair, but it offers a lot of pressure and a lot of damage in that mid jungle combo.
Absolutely. Like you said, aggression. And right now there's a lot of it. You see a lot of potential initiation. We've seen Surtur ult, of course, be used defensively many times, can be a great escape tool, but can also be used offensively to just start off a team fight. And of course, Robin can easily get into a fight with their ultimate as well. Bacchus, the leap, of course, is the tried and true initiation for the team. But without the Bacchus leap, you still have 2 other ways you can very easily get into a fight and do some big work here. Some solid mitigation potential to be built on the Robin as well, so that you have some good branching options here. I like the choose your own adventure, keep the enemy team guessing. Wondering what the last pick will be, though, on the side of Flourish here. What are we thinking might be good to counter out this team that the Kingslayers have built?
That's gonna be a bit tougher for me to try to pinpoint. I'm looking for big solo pressure. Okay, a Cullen is exactly what I was gonna ask for, because you've got to find some way to counteract the Surtur, who's gonna be a lane bully, and there's no better way to counter the lane bully than playing a lane bully yourself in the form of Cullen. One other thing I'm looking for before we move on is the Morgan potentially turning into Surtur later in the game and using that Ember Walk ultimate to really kind of cause chaos for Kingslayers, and in particular focus out Gabba using that Ember Walk. I think that's going to be a big thing to look for later in the game.
Absolutely, and you have to keep in mind, if your Surtur's getting ahead, that just means the Morgan is potentially getting ahead as well when it comes to using that ultimate. So it's going to be interesting to see how that changeling comes into play. Once again, I'm just going to pray that Realty does not decide to copy Gabba for the sake of my tongue and the diction that I will be trying to get going here. But with that being said here, that's enough here for just the chatter. Let's get right into the game for this Divine Week 3. Sorry, Immortal. Oh my god, Immortal. It's Immortal. It's totally Immortal. We'll get into the game right now. See you in a bit.
I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone out, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. When we were on, I'd always thought we would make it, but now you're gone. Baby, you're a ghost. I'm caught up in a landslide, mental on the low end. When I used to feel alive, now there's a hole in the city, can't feel shit. Where do I go? Cause I know you don't feel this. Can't catch a break for God's sakes. Feel like I'm waking up and I'm caught in the wake. Yeah, I know this is my funeral on parade. I did it to myself cause I always thought you would feel the same, and I know you don't. Drunk off the lights of a city, late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone out, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. Let's hit the brakes. I'm pulling out the parachute, jumping out the plane. You had it all in front of you, nothing feels the same. It's crazy what love can do, even crazier when it's not coming back to you. You say you need space, so I gave you all the states. Every night a different place. Used to think we're getting closer, now we're drifting away. And all I can say is that I'm feeling wasted. I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone out. I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. When we were on.
Welcome on back, everyone, to this Immortal. It's Immortal game of the Smite Draft League. Week 3. We have Kingslayers on the side of Order here, knocking down some minions versus the sides of Chaos there, Flourish. Anthony, just talking about the overall picks here, the preliminary look into the comps. How are we feeling about what each team has stacked up?
I'm feeling like that in terms of team composition, I'm leaning advantage Flourish. I think this comp plays to Flourish's strengths a little better. I think Kingslayers may be a more independent feeling team composition where it will benefit the player more than the team in terms of what I'm used to seeing them play. I do like the blink on the Raven. Thor went beads, so look for Raven to really force those initiations more than the Thor, especially around level 3 at the shield buff.
It does seem like they're really going for that. And like we said, there's just a heavy aggression their comp is naturally inclined towards. I'm looking towards right now, Xarxith. I've talked about it right now. If the enemy team, Flourish, has done their homework, they're going to know that Xarxith, though it's an unconventional maybe to see the Tiamat here in the Carolina, is not a reason to miss it whatsoever. That Xarxith Tiamat can do mad work if you're just going to let her farm up. So you got to be careful when it comes to that factor.
Yeah, I definitely would be worried about that Tiamat ADC. I keep an eye on it. I try to keep it under control. Like you said, the last time it was brought out, it put in work. There's the blink from CEO onto Realty, though, trying to make a play happen in mid. Will not find it, but it was close.
And the bead's going to be burned too right there. So like it's exactly like you predicted right there. Just looking to blink in, burn bead, double tap. Actually not going to find the second hit, though. That's going to cost a decent amount of damage there. Gabba going to be at an okay amount of health for the remainder of this fight, but still going to be decently poked out right now. This 2v2 here in the mid lane seems like they're going to be continuing on the engagement, but also we've seen the Carolina a bit of damage going on there. Just when it comes to that 2v2, Thor, I'd imagine, certainly is going to, when that blink is not down, have the upper hand against that Robin just because of the lack of initiation before level 5 at the very least.
Yeah, because especially early, using your hammer early can occasionally be a death sentence. I mean, certainly when you're full health, it isn't, but it's always risky, so you have to at least keep it in the back of your mind to play that safe, which Robin having the blink will allow for a good scenario there. A1 getting a bit low in solo.
It's looking quite rough, but not going to quite have the damage or maybe the cooldowns at the moment to actually finish that one off. And we didn't really talk too much about this, but I really do like the Kakolan pick. We've seen what a Surtur can do when it comes to maybe a Guan Yu pick or someone that does really well rotating over off the team fight, but in lane struggles, because Surtur's not going to let you get to that team fight phase without a lot of pain. So I think Kakolan is a really wise choice if A1 can make it work and ensure that, because we know what Kakolan can do. Kakolan can cause massive disruption in the backline, whereas Surtur, I feel like Surtur is really meant for the lane, and though they can do work if they're getting some kills, I don't know. I feel like Kakolan overall just brings a little bit more when it comes to control and disruption to the fight.
Yeah, and build-wise, I'm kind of leaning so far advantage A1 on this Kakolan to kind of go off of that. The warding sigil is going to provide a bit more of a bit better of a tanky feel. Warrior's Axe has been nerfed a bit. It's still a good item, but I think when we get into the nitty-gritty of this lane, while I do think it will be advantage Surtur in terms of farm, level advantage, so on and so forth, I don't expect easy kills on the Kakolan. It's gonna take a lot of work to even just pressure out the Kakolan fully. I don't think this is a free lane by any stretch of the imagination.
No, I imagine there's going to be some outside help, and it's looking like both junglers right now hovering around that side at the moment, so maybe you're going to see some action there, but not quite at the moment. Continue down just with this farm. A lot of initiations right here coming, but that's going to be a big issue. Massive channels, especially when it comes to Bacchus Belch, are easily locked out by the Ohm, and that's going to be a really big issue you're going to have to consider when it comes to these big teamfight engagements.
Yeah, and Post is a smart player, and Post plays a lot of Ganesh, so the opportunities to utilize that Ohm, get the silence, and utilize it for the protections will both be very common and plentiful, especially late. So I think Bacchus will be a pretty consistent victim. I want to talk really quick about Xarxith on this Tiamat carry. The last time we saw Xarxith, it was a different build start than we're seeing now. It was Xarxith on ADC, on Tiamat. We saw a Santa Time with a Book of Thoth start. We're seeing it different this time, Conduit into a Chronos Pendant build or some, Karen's Coin. So it could be an interesting change of pace. for the build. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, but Xarxith definitely knows what she's doing. So I'm just curious to see where she's going to go with this build.
Chronos Panda did receive a small buff this patch, and you know, I've seen Xarxith do a really good job at tower defense when they're just spamming out onslaughts, spamming out ruinations. She can really do a solid job of just making sure that an entire swath of the land is a no-go zone for the enemy teams. So I'm liking that pick. I would like to see it be, honestly, Chronos Panda, just to ensure the spamming of that abilities is upkept. But honestly, like we said, Xarxith knows what to do. That is unfortunate. Gonna Anvil of Dawn on into the tower, take a small dip, say, who's in here? No one, in fact. Gonna unfortunately missed by just a smidge.
Timing issue, timing gapped, skill issue, rolled.
GG no re, young boy better ratio, but yeah, unfortunate there. I like the initiation there from szax, just not gonna quite find it in time. No, that's really all it comes down to. They're just not gonna quite get that one to boot, but that just does allow initiation if they saw it. I imagine they saw that the ult was expended, but hopefully they're going to use this as a chance for some early aggression now to maybe see. But right now, it's been mostly everyone's been content to just farm up. When it comes to if we do to see just a bit of non-scrapping for a long time, who do you think benefits when it comes to the farm wars and being left unopposed?
The farm wars here are going to be a matter of rotations because I'm looking at the danger that comes from having the Thor Morgan combo, and I'm also looking at this blink on the Raven that I talked about, and then Bacchus is a support who likes to roam, really flap, and cause some chaos. So it's kind of a mixed bag. I think it's really going to depend on what we see this Thor do throughout the game and how aggressive he is. Oh,
this
end
could
of
be
days?
quite bad. Surtur taking to the skies. No Thor ult to support yet. Might could be coming up soon, but a decent amount of damage there. But nicely done there. Ulting to get that CC immunity. Not going to be knocked up quite, and gonna actually both of them just retreat on back with very low health at the moment. The Anvil of Dawn is up, but szax gonna be quite low. Not gonna be able to quite bring that hurt. But hold on, it seems that there might be a rotation coming in right there. Blink, I believe, expended. Different CEO. Ult gonna be used there, and you can only imagine there's gonna be first blood there. CEO making it happen. Gonna drop A1.
That was a huge kill there for the Raven. It was well done indeed, utilizing the overhead kick to make sure you avoid the tower damage and played safe. And Xax was so low on the other side of the map, the Thor couldn't have rotated even if he wanted to contest CEO there. It was just clean and free on the rotation.
Yeah, you can't really ask for much better than that. And like we were talking about, the A1 was looking to be a pretty big threat when it came to the solo opposition to ZombieBillyMays. That's going to set ZombieBillyMays up for just a nice and easier time when it comes to this laning phase. ZombieBillyMays, I've seen in past games, have some really solid positioning. I'm looking for ZombieBillyMays to, because Surtur, when it comes to just fully frontal assaulting you in the team fight, is not always the best. I kind of like a Surtur that might be a bit more sneaky, maybe just harassing and assailing people in the backline, and you're going to want to when it comes to these threats that Realty and DRkILLxJOY are going to be presenting. So I'm looking for ZombieBillyMays to do what he does best and just harangue the backline. Make sure that no one really knows where you're being, no one knows where you're at until it's too late. But right now, unfortunate not knowing what's going on right there. szax gonna drop the wall, and the Dharmic Pillars, just like we said, the massive amount of control being provided here by Flourish is too much for Xarxith.
And now Lana's caught out in between four members of Flourish, and that's enough for Lana to say, all right, I'm out of here. You guys can have the Gold Fury for the time being. That was an unfortunate rotation there for Flourish. Just had Xarxith's number, beat Lana to the punch. Unfortunate to be a team out there.
Yeah, the vision just wasn't quite there. You see, wait, hold on a second. It looks like we're continuing this initiation right now. Bit of damage right now into Gab. Again, retreat on back, seeming to be fine, dropping some sigil swords. Not going to be in too much danger there. Lana's back, but just going to be smacking the other meaty boy there, post-drama. Both of them just going to laugh that one off. But we're going to be content with a 1-to-1 right now. Of course, the first blood dropping for the Kingslayers there, so it's still going to be a bit of an advantage to them, but quite negligible at the moment.
The Morgan turned into Morgan there, so your nightmare came true, first of all. But second of all, it was a bit early there from Realty, which led to them not getting the kill on Gaba. Wanted to pop that consuming power early, looking to see if Post could set up the kill, but it just wasn't there. If Realty waited another 3 seconds, it probably would have been a kill on Gaba. So just unfortunate timing there from Realty.
Something we can hopefully work on in the future. Like I mean, it's early right now. This is the moment where you can make some mistakes and it's okay. When it comes to the later team fights, though, you want to see the communication going on. You want to see the cohesiveness, the fluidity. I'm hoping to see that, but again, I'm just gonna be. I think we're just gonna keep seeing that. And there's also just like when it comes to a Ravana combo. When it comes to that, that's gonna be locked out. The primordial onslaught can be stopped upon the initial burst of it. These are all such really useful assets, and it's why this pick can be such a problem for the Kingslayers, and I really am not sure how they're going to try to get around it without just some really hard targeting on post-drama when it comes to these bigger engagements.
Yep, and post on Ganesh, we've seen it target banned away from post drama before, so it's peculiar, but it's not unheard of. And like you said, they've got to, especially for this early phase as we head towards the 10-minute mark, you got to take post out of this game on Ganesh. You have to really make Ganesh be so far behind that Ganesh becomes a squishy, because that's Ganesh's big weakness. You put Ganesh far enough behind, it's no different than an underleveled mid laner.
Yeah, no, very fair point. It seems that we're going to have a repeat, potentially. Another blink in. Unfortunately, missed the root there, but still a decent amount of damage. The Piranha Onslaught going into up and down. Not going to do quite enough damage, though, right now. And it seems that the ult's going to save Amon's life, or A1's life. Unfortunate there that they missed the root. That bit of extra CC might have been able to clinch out the kill. Going to retreat back with nothing. Maybe a blue buff? Nope, it's gone. Unfortunate there for Kingslayers.
Yeah, that's not what you want at all. I mean, the pressure is good because I talked about that Kakolan could actually compete with Surtur's lane presence, and keeping everything under control there is good because you don't want to have a free roaming Kakolan or Surtur for that matter, depending on which side you're on. So putting focus there is pretty huge.
Yeah, honestly, I wonder who's going to start making the big rotations first. I mean, we did see that first kill being dropped on A1, so a bit behind potentially in that. I mean, there's still even the levels, so I'd honestly like to see A1 rotating a bit earlier, just because I think that, like I said, can make massive contributions to these fights. But so far, everyone's been pretty content to have minor scrapping. You haven't really seen any big engagements coming on, other than those times the CEO has blink up. So it seems that they're really leaving it in the hands of their jungler to decide and shot call when these fights are going to happen.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think A1 will be the first to rotate, and because I think that Flourish might have the tighter team comms going into this game. So I think definitely look for an early rotation from A1, maybe trying to force a Gold Fury happen maybe 2 to 5 minutes from now.
I would like to see it. I definitely want to see some objective play going on, because that's where we can see the true stars shine out. That's where the communications really come into play, and that's where you really come to see who's the better team and who has the better synergy. But right now, decent amount coming in there. Kingslayers, all three of them working together right now. We have Robin, Morgan Le Fay, and as well the Bach is trying to knock down post-drama. Anvil of Dawn, his health is gone. Gaba is done. And the Changeling has come out as well. Lana will fall. A second bout of CC there. Spawn on a CEO. The up-down is out, but the damage has already been done, and he will fall. A triple kill there for szax.
That was gigantic. That's exactly what you want. They're a bit too unhealthy in terms of posts to go for gold, but they can clean up this Pyro with no problem, and I don't think that BillyMays is going to sniff it out. Even if he does, he's too low from boxing with A1. Free Pyromancer for Flourish.
A Morgan with a global ult on your team is a dangerous card to play. And now szax is just that much more buff. So when you change into that Thor, it's going to be even better. It's a self-feeding loop, and it's going to be a really big problem in future engagements if they don't stop it.
Yeah, it's kind of going to be one of those snowball situations. I mean, we've talked about it a bunch. When all these guys signed up for this season, they all selected pretty much that they were snowballers and they like to feed feed into the pressure comps and get the ball rolling and play off of that. And okay, Post just got absolutely like down to like internally, emotionally, any stretch of the word insulted at that green buff being stolen by Lana. I don't know if Post is going to recover
off
from that.
right there with that prize.
That's
how Dawn going to come in. Seems like quite a bit of damage falling to the mid laner right now.
Oh, goodbye, Gaba. Realty gets a kill, and now CEO's here trying to make something happen. Mystic Crush finds a kill on a post-drama.
Not going to quite find too much going there after that, though. Going to be content to just take this 1-for-1. Hey, you got yours, we got ours. We're going to just take the 1-for-1 right now, 2-5 right now in favor of Flourish right there. We had the pick onto the support, though, and the pick on the mid. You're going to be happy with that trade if you're Flourish.
100%. That's exactly what you want. I mean, Post will be the first to tell you this as a support. You want to die in those scenarios. Go ahead, kill me 15 times. Give my team any advantage they can possibly get off of it. And we saw it there firsthand, and I expect to see it more. Because I mentioned it that we really needed to see them get this Ganesh behind. The time for that is slowly passing. Once that second Relic's online, level 12 to 14 is your last chance to put the support behind. If they miss that, there's no longer a point to it, and you may as well look to bigger and better things.
You're absolutely correct there. I'm interested to see what they're going to be. It doesn't seem like they're really intent though. There's not too much aggression, like we said, coming out from the Kingslayers. And now when it comes to the changeling combinations, Flourish is really looking to be those aggressors in these big engagements. Now, the ability to just land on someone twice with and bring that CC chain twice beats the first one. I don't give a crap. I'll just have another one come down right on top of your head. As long as they're aiming those well and being well coordinated, which as you've said is Flourish's motto right there, having those tight comms. This is going to be a really big problem for Kingslayers.
Yeah, I finally some poking around the Gold Fury and Kingslayers. They really need to contest this, but they've got to do it in a way that doesn't get them decided, and that's going to be the challenge. And Atlanta already caught out.
A lot of damage already there, and CC comboed instantly. Ganesh going to make sure that it happens. Realty going to bring it to reality. Nicely done. They're going to pick up that kill, and looking to the Gold Fury now. Both solos not in the fight, which I do think does benefit overall the Kingslayers. Like we said, A1 does have more of an impact right now, but it seems that doesn't even matter. Because right now the bit's scattered. No one's really pushed up together. Onslaught's going to come through, but the Dark Pillars are going to be really good secure there for the team, and Flourish is going to grab the first Gold Fury. Solid amount of damage there. CEO actually going to grab POSTDRAMA in the back though, and is continuing the push.
Has to use that beads to get away from the Morgan, and Morgan turns into, it looks like Thor, and Realty's going up. We're going to look for Ramily on the landing, but misses it. DRkILLxJOY's got your back, though. Realty finds the kill on the CEO.
It's okay. No one saw that miss. It didn't even come into play. We're still good. Realty doing a good job. I mean, it's the method, right? It might not have been the execution, but they're at least practicing the method, and that's you don't need to even land it in that case. So we'll definitely take that. Flourish going to grab some kills and a Gold Fury for free.
That's exactly what I was waiting to see from Flourish. I mentioned that 2 to 5 minute mark. It took closer to 5, but Flourish got the rotations, and it came in clutch, and now they've really set the tone for this game, and Kingslayers is just trying to keep up with Flourish, which with a team comp as aggressive as Robin, Surtur, Bacchus, that's not where you want to be. Xarxith is crazy on Tiamat. We've seen that time and time again, but currently the scenario is not looking great for Kingslayers.
Yeah, Xarxith as well as... Actually, well, no, that's not even true. DRkILLxJOY has been a bit more involved in these fights we've seen, but Xarxith really seems content to just farm up right now and prepare for the late game, but you have to wonder if it's worth it when your team's suffering meanwhile on the sidelines here. Is Xarxith going to actually... did build the Chronos Pendant. Haha, I got one. I got a prediction there. Make it a one note for the history books there. Deelo got a prediction right for itemization. But yeah, I'm looking to see a bit more team impact there from Xarxith. Yes, it's great to get that team out fed up, but what does it matter if the rest of your team is down so low?
Yeah, it's a really tough balancing act. I mean, ADCs, and rightfully so, prioritize farm and the need for it. It really does come above everything else, because if your ADC doesn't get farm online, what is your ADC supposed to do for you? Tiamat is even more so, because Tiamat doesn't have the advantage Ishtar has. Ishtar has Rage online, has Kingslayers online. There's your power spikes. Tiamat has to work and work and work for these power spikes to rotate, and the structure damage won't be there, and that's whatever. But the damage will be there, but you got to get to that point, and you have to survive long enough. And in the set you casted, you saw that. It came online, but it's too little, too late.
Absolutely. And also, that's a very fair point you mentioned as well. The structure damage, that also came to be a pretty big factor. When it comes to even like a fire giant push, you can find that it can be a really big pain in the ass to try to push that down when you don't have your typical auto... attacking carry, hyper carry, physical there to provide that damage there. Meanwhile, though, providing the damage there is going to be onto ZombieBillyMays. A1 trying to make it happen there. Not going to quite get it, though, with the roar. Going to just be content to rotate over to this fight right now that, unfortunately, we don't have ZombieBillyMays for right now. Going to be dropping the hammers down on him right now. The double tap is going to be good there, but not quite enough damage there. Morgan Le Fay going to get out with half health.
Nice use of relics there to survive him, Morgan, but also a interesting use of beads. It was an aggressive beads from Szax trying to pre-beads the Dragonflight to continue the pressure onto Gabba, so now that's down for the next fight. And it looks like Flourish is going to set up for another team fight here soon, as the Oni Fury is going to spawn, so that beads being down could be something to look for.
Very true. I mean, we saw Szax use that ultimate, but Realty has his, so like, who even cares? It's just another Thorl that you have at all times in your pocket, making sure to like almost keep it in shit. I mean, yes, it's great when you get the double burst down and you can just instantly knock someone off the board, but if you're not going to do that, if you're going to miss off the first one, keep the other one in pocket. That way you just have one arm retainer at all times. Keep them looking for that. Keep them guessing. It seems that Realty's really intent on just maintaining this Thor for the changeling. Do we see that ever changing up during these bigger team fight engagements when it comes to the 5v5?
That's a bit of a problem with the Morgan in general. I'm guilty of this as well. You like to kind of hover your main choice and keep it there for your quick change, but I would really like to see Realty mix it up. I could even see some scenarios where turning into I could go as crazy as turning into Cullen. I could even say turning into post-drama could really
I was
go
about to say,
hard
turn to the
here.
boat drama. 2 sets of Dharmic Pillars would feel
Yeah.
crazy.
Wow, bomb, bomb, bomb. Goodbye.
This
Tier 1
is
tower
why we
mid.
like the bomb, everyone. It's great. Oh no, though. This could not be a great situation, though, for post-drama right now. Gonna take to the skies is the Surtur. ZombieBillyMays coming in onto, it seems, DRkillJOY, but coming right back down is the Anvil of Dawn from szax.
And this fight's breaking out in a big way, and Kingslayers is not getting the better of it, but Gava's here to change things, and Xarxith's made the rotation, and she's got damage aplenty on this Tiamat. The farming may have been worth it, and Flourish has to respect it.
Realty does still have that ult, but gonna, I think, for the wisest choice there to deny that option as what might be best for their case right here. Post-drama gonna be caught with a bit of a lazy back right now. Lana in hot pursuit, but it's only Lana, and I think Lana realizes that. She's gonna retreat on back there, leave the stuffed elephant to live another day. But yeah, I agree with what you're saying there about the Morgan. Yes, hovering over that same pick for the Changeling allows you to be more comfortable, but it also allows your opposing team to get more comfortable with that matchup and understand strategies to counter it. I think it's best to keep them guessing. Always best to change it up and make sure that your opponent does not know what's coming next.
ZombieBillyMays is chasing DRkillJOY all the way to tier 2 tower in duo, and DRkillJOY could just sit and watch, and that's what Surtur brings. Surtur is not, by far and away, not the most broken or OP character that's currently in the game, but situations like that are so frustrating. Realty slamming down on Gaba, Berserkers finds the kill. That's why you hover Thor, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we can't really criticize the choice if it's going to work to that effect, right? The mid lane is going to be dropped there. We've seen, unfortunately, Gaba have to almost always use that ult defensively. Consuming power, obviously great for the CC immunity, but you want to be using it to maybe provide some support for these big fights. Hold on, double tap, gonna find 2, but the Ruination can do quite a bit as well. szax looking quite low, gonna be the first to fall. To Xarxith, Lana is also gonna be dropped by DRkillJOY, looking to just retreat on to the safety of the tower is CEO. It's going to be a 1-for-1 right now. Surtur going in though alone against the 1v4.
This is a tough one for Surtur, but already committed to the end of days and was rolling around big boulder form, and now has to just really watch and wait and maybe try to steal Oni using Giant's Grasp. Not a lot of options there. CEO is on the way, but it's going to be a tough attempt to even contest.
Is not great secure. Gonna, I think, wisely focus on the players rather than the actual objective, but gonna find quite a bit of damage in return right now. 3 members in full pursuit. No one's gonna get in time to support. 4 members, in fact. Realty gonna find the kill.
And that's a big kill for Realty, because now you've staggered your deaths. We saw that Lana just responded, Gaba just respawned, and now BillyMays has to wait out death timer, and Oni Fury hasn't even been pulled yet. When you stagger deaths like that, even if it doesn't turn into too much, you're just creating these awkward scenarios where now the solo lane side of the map can be cleaned up in farm. It's just not what you want to do, and you gotta play it a bit safer than that if you're gonna go win a contest.
It seems that both teams are just going to opt to leave the objectives alone right now. Flourish can tend to just rack up the kill count slowly. Going to be a real war of attrition on their end. Whereas Kingslayers, their game plan, I'm not really sure what their game plan is to go from here. If you're a Kingslayer right now, Anthony, what are you thinking is the strategy to get back in this game?
You kind of have to reset priorities. Your Tiamat's online. You're completely getting obliterated in experience. Gold isn't looking great either. You've got to get Xarxith more build online. You've got to regroup. You got to catch Gaba up a little bit more. I mean, Gaba's not far behind, but you've got to get Gaba online with Xarxith so that you can work with your damage outward and play off of it that way. If you can do that, I think Kingslayers can get back in this game. But if they don't really work around their magical carries, I have a bad feeling this game won't go great for Kingslayers, because there's no world where Robin's going to hyper carry you here.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, that's what the comps focus on, and that's when you can sometimes see a really smart idea, a really innovative idea fall, when the one thing that you're centered around is just not the thing that's being brought to life here. I mean, CEO's been doing a great job of initiating. We've seen ZombieBillyMays have some great harassing, which is what we want to see, but if Xarxith's not there, and if Gaba's going to be falling so quickly out of these fights from Realty, you're just not going to have the damage. You're not going to have the range either. I mean, CEO, once that kit's expended, Robin's just going to be sitting there in a lot of trouble from the range damage that has the potential possibility of DRkillJOY just bursting you down, and even A1 is going to be harassing you the entire time. So just, you have to make sure that you're protecting and peeling for those magical hyper carries, as you said. but gonna be looking to maybe engage here once again on the Gold Fury side. Another take two, they're saying, Kingslayers.
And they don't know where Xarxith is on this Thor, and that's going to be a problem for Kingslayers. So keep your eye on the Thor, already dropping BillyMays.
And BillyMays is straying out farther from the team right now, opting to instead retreat into the lane. szax in hot pursuit. CEO gonna try to chase as well, but now it's 2v3 over here by the Gold Fear. Never mind, 3v3. We do still have the Tiamat there. Xarxith trying to provide the damage, but not getting off that much, unfortunately. The Tiamat's come online, but it seems that that browser speed's a bit low. And the szax drop, followed by the Realty drop. I don't know which one's which right now. Anyone gonna pick up a kill right now. Members low. End of day is gonna look for a kill on szax. Xarxith in the back line, gonna find DRkILLxJOY. And another kill following up on a szax there. Nice pickup there from ZombieBillyMays.
That's a huge one indeed. Now you got Flourish in an awkward spot. Realty's got it back, and it's just the tanks alive, and Xarxith can shred them easily with that true damage. A1's going to be the first to fall, and they might look for post-drama next.
Xarxith is going to be on the killing spree right now. We're seeing finally what we've wanted this entire time. We know what's capable on this Xarxith Tiamat for the carry, and it's working to majesty right now. We do see Realty coming in from the side, though. Can't imagine, though, that might be the wisest decision. I think it's better to just let your support there fall. Elephant's going to be destuffed by Lana.
Yeah, Bacchus is going to take the stuffing and eat it like it's Thanksgiving, and Oni Fury is next up on the menu.
Nice. I mean, that's just what they needed. Really, it looked quite dire first. They landed the combo, but maybe what we were saying is what happened. They knew what was going to be coming. They were privy to the tactic. They saw one Thor drop. They knew the next was coming. They spread out a little bit, so they weren't quite as impacted by the massive amounts of stun and CC coming in through szax and Realty. It just wasn't enough in the end. And ZombieBillyMays, in a moment of true bravery, real American hero there, follows up on the kill on a szax, which I thought was risky, but it paid off dividends for them.
Yeah, that was huge. Like you said, they knew that it was going to be a Thor, dunk, and they were able to play around it to perfection. Matter of fact, it was actually the passiveness of the start of the fight that worked out. Normally splitting like that's a terrible idea, but the way that they separated the front line from the back line of Flourish made it an awkward fight where Post was not able to help out the carries, and it ultimately kind of fell apart from there outward for Flourish. They're certainly not out of this game, but Kingslayers is back in the game, which, given what we know of this Tiamat, could be a problem. And we've yet to see the Ishtar, despite Ishtar playing well and having a good stat line, we'd get to see a massive impact from the Ishtar.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really looking for these hyper carries to hyper carry, you know, that is in the name after all. Pyroman's going to be coming up here, so maybe some more objective play coming up from that. But it seems there's been an overall general reset. Both these teams generally content to continue farming right here. We do see both the Tiamat and as well DRkILLxJOY just back in their lanes. We saw for a decent amount of time the solos also farming it up. So seems that these teams are once again willing to kind of lead up to the farm and let the farm fall where it may fall. But now everyone's beginning to rotate. A big pincer movement potentially here from Flourish as they wrap around, but looking like Kingslayers trying to pull it up a sturdy defense.
CEO and BillyMays are going to go in and look for Xax, but they've run into DRkILLxJOY, and that's enough to back up after the TIE Fighter sounds come out. But now Gabba and Xarxith are here, and we've got a 5v5 group around the Pyro and mid.
Everyone's just staring at each other. There's no sneaking going on here. It's going to be full frontal assault, it seems. Leading the charge right now is ZombieBillyMays. Decent amount of damage with the tornado going to be found onto A1 right now, but he's berserk. He's crazy. Darkville is going to drop fine. Not too many. I only think it was on Lana right there. Going to escape with a fine amount of health right over there. Stun out of Berserker's Rage there. Going to take to the sky. End of day is coming. Who's going to be falling onto? Seeing that we're going to find two potentially? No, one only onto A1, but not much damage there. Big Ishtar ult though for the stun.
I feel like Kingslayers might be grouping too much and not doing enough damage with it, and Flourish was able to survive because of it. Now Xax goes down to find Xarxith. Double tap not going to hit, and CEO is going to clean up Xax. And here's the other Thor, and Realty, maybe the real Thor, now on a rampage and looking for more.
Going to be doing quite a bit there. CEO going to be falling as well, and we're going to see that BillyMays will fall next. Low health members here of the floors, but it's not going to matter. Realty is truly the real Thor.
And now they've got a free Pyromancer in the pocket. They can set up for Fire Giant. Realty just absolutely picked up the mantle of Thor V2. And much like ChatGPT, now Xax has to clean up his act and maybe look for the next version of his own Thor. Well done by Realty to really turn that fight around. And having two Thors that don't miss their dunks is proving to be just a bit too much for Kingslayers to keep up with in these team fights.
Yeah, Realty keeps making us eat our words, you know? Like, it's one fight, it seems, maybe you should switch off the Thor, change it up. And then it's like, okay, well, just go ahead and kill the entire team, why don't you? Realty making it work right now. It's proving that, uh, old dogs don't need to learn new tricks if they just kill everyone. Seems to be the new adage that
For
we're gonna be
sure.
learning here. As
And it's
everyone
not
hops back up.
even I'm sorry.
Hmm?
And it's not
No, go
even
ahead, please.
that Xarxith has been cut off or is playing bad on his Thor. It's that Xarxith's Thor has become the initiator and Realty's Thor has become the closer. And that's been
Mm-hmm.
their theme for every single fight. And it
That's
just
true.
works out to perfection. And Kingslayers just doesn't have an answer for it because they have no counter initiation on their team aside from what, maybe Bacchus. They don't have enough hard CC to respond to that collapse.
I like the decision also to have it's very right there that Szax's been almost I think every single time been the one to first initiate the Anvil of Dawn. I like that a lot because Realty obviously has the option to adapt to the scenario. You see that the Szax ult is maybe not successful, you can switch up or you can decide obviously not to ult at all, but you can decide to changeling into someone else there. And also, we know that Szax is going to probably have a bit more of that precision there, having piloted this Thor many a times, I'm sure, more than Realty. So having that chaos be the field for Realty to ult into is, I think, a far better move. So I think that's some really good communication there from Flourish and some really wise tactics.
For sure, and I like this next fight for Flourish too. If they take it, they've already got Lana poked out. They've got Kingslayers spread out in an awkward position. This red buff is hard to fight around. If I'm Flourish, I'm pushing this fight and trying to make an issue. And Xarxith might look to do that from the side.
Xarxith's going to do a lot of damage to the onslaught. What I've seen Ruination such a pivotal ability to hit on the Tiamat. The second, the little triangle in the middle, not only does a ton more damage, but also is going to be that stun. But there's not enough setup, it seems, that's consistently landing to get any big CC chains. Whereas we're seeing that a lot more from Flourish. The CC chains are just proving to be too much there for the Kingslayers in these big engagements where I'd like to see a bit more of that cohesion come from the Kingslayers, but it just might not be easy enough. Like you said, they're playing gods that might benefit each individual player more rather than the entire team.
Something that could have really turned this around for Kingslayers, and this is not a critique on Xarxith whatsoever, but if they were on a more traditional ADC, when the double Thors land in, if you could crit them away as a traditional hunter, I think the Thors would be much less of an issue.
Absolutely, but instead you're just going to be CC chained and then just almost drop to nearly dead instantly. No lifesteal to really help you out. They're just only going to be the boon of your teammates to potentially help you out. But right now in hot pursuit, POSTDRAMA is pretty low at the moment. Going to retreat on out as A1. Caught on out right now is Szax. Going to have to retreat out. Consumed, though, by Xarxith.
That's a huge kill for Xarxith, and I think that this may be a good opportunity for Kingslayers to run it in and really gain some ground, and BillyMays is leading the way.
A lot of damage coming in on a BillyMays. He's going to have to waltz on out of there. No one's going to be able to quite follow up, it seems, with Szax gone right now and Realty a bit too far away to ult as well. Going to get on out of that fight just fine. Going to take their one and be content with it. Maybe enough to start this Fire Giant push, but with ZombieBillyMays at pretty low amount of health, you would imagine that they're just going to take this victory and waltz on back and try to get what farm they can from the jungle.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. They put themselves in a much better spot than it seemed before, and Kingslayers has really flipped the field this game. It definitely feels like Flourish is completely on the back foot, on the defensive, and Kingslayers has the advantage. It could easily sway at any time, and we've seen the kind of damage Flourish can do, and this kind of setup that Post offers.
And now we're going to be seeing this Fire Giant still looked at. Flourish coming back after a bit of a hearty loss there. Decent amount of damage they're putting on the Realty. Yeah, but I don't know, I just have not felt like this Morgan Le Fay. How have you felt about the Morgan Le Fay's impact of these fights? Personally, I'm just not seeing as much as I'd like to.
Yeah, unfortunately, I agree. And that tends to be an issue with the play style. Oh, actually, I'm going to have to hang on because Post is getting lit up right now, and it falls down to Xarxith.
Rampage there for Xarxith, and they're just gonna once again it was harmless. It was just free right there. POSTDRAMA caught out, dropped, easy peasy, and that's gonna be a Pyromancer in their pockets.
But to go back to your point very quickly, I feel like I definitely agree. I feel like the Morgan Le Fay has been consistently pushed out, and that's kind of something that tends to be a theme with Gabba. When Gabba plays aggressive and Gabba goes in with confidence, there's always a lot of kills that follow. But if Gabba has to, be it by her own choice or being forced out, if she has to take a more backseat approach and play passive at the back line, there tends to be a tough follow-up from her teammates.
Definitely agree, but some follow-up coming in right now. Actually, not even follow-up, just initiation straight up right there. Gonna try to find Xarxith. Beads coming in from both the offensive and the defensive. The onslaught is going to do tons, and the gank has been just completely reversed onto Szax. Gonna fall immediately for this fight. POSTDRAMA gonna be returning on back, but this is a great boon to the Kingslayers.
Yeah, and BillyMays getting out of there is gigantic. Losing that Surtur would have really impacted this next Fire Giant. Honestly, if I'm Kingslayers, I'm rushing at this Fire Giant and trying to bait it out, not take a 50-50. I'm trying to force a fight in the 5v4.
Make sure that you conserve those cooldowns. Xarxith, this is where that Chronos Panic can come into play, because you can use some abilities maybe to expend onto the Fire Giant, but then also have them in your back pocket there with that high cooldown. Spam right at your your opponent right now. ZombieBillyMays is going to be taking a decent amount of damage, but the shield's going to come into play here. POSTDRAMA actually at half health right now, and it seems that target switching is good here. A lot of damage. He's only going to fall in just moments. You can only imagine at the very least. There we go. Xarxith going to pick up that kill. Realty going to get one, though. Oh my god, wait, what just happened? The complete reversal.
Where are they going? Double kill for Killjoy. They want more. The last one standing is BillyMays, and they're trying to get BillyMays out of here. Up into the sky they go. On the landing will be end of days in response, yes, but Realty's trying to get ahead. Doesn't go ahead to the teleport, and BillyMays gets away, but Flourish almost wipes them and creates a Fire Giant out of nowhere.
What? It was out of nowhere. What happened? What? What happened?
I guess we get to think about it during a break.
We have some time right now. That was such a crazy team fight. The entire game couldn't even handle it. The router has been fried, and so is my brain right now. We'll be right back as we try to fan at these technical difficulties. One moment.
I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. When we were on.
We're right back in the action here. Fire Giant can be feeling some pain right now as we just came off of the back of a massive team fight in favor of Flourish. I genuinely, what happened? It was everyone participating right there. We saw a kill from Killjoy, we saw a kill from A1, we saw a kill, I believe, from Realty as well. Everyone was eating on the squad right there. I genuinely don't understand where all that damage came from.
It truly came out of nowhere. Kingslayers found themselves with just no abilities to respond, and Flourish had everything up, and they were able to completely flip it on their head. I mean, you could find how quickly that fight went down and how unprepared for it Kingslayers was by looking at one simple thing. Look at the actives for Kingslayers. Almost everybody has actives up. They couldn't even use their actives to survive that fight because it flipped so quickly. And Flourish just completely turned that fight out of nowhere and dominated it. It basically was like the perfect bait from POSTDRAMA, the perfect support bait, and Flourish just took the opportunity and perfectly utilized it, unlike my ranked games.
It's very much unlike your ranked games, I'm sure. Nah, come on, give yourself some credit, my friend. I'm sure you could duel with the likes of a Flourish over here. Right now, though, they're looking quite scary with Fire Giant around their waist, and in fact, an enhanced Fire Giant there around their waist. All members pouring in. You're seeing this cohesion. We're going to be seeing some base defense. And we've seen, like I talked about earlier, Xarxith is very capable on this. In fact, this comp in general can do a decent amount of work on this. Surtur might have a bit of trouble initiating, though, from the back foot. You're going to have to really look to Xarxith to try to spam out abilities and make sure that the entire area is no man's land.
Something else I want to point attention to, DRkILLxJOY jumped up in the player damage charts. We talked about the lack of a traditional ADC for Kingslayers, and while Xarxith is going crazy on this Tiamat, look at the damage numbers to back it up. I still feel like the way Flourish is playing and how hyper aggro they are going, that Xarxith is limited just by cooldowns. If you've got basic attacks, you've got crits coming out, you've got keen sights, all things that DRkILLxJOY is utilizing, I think Xarxith could be turning this fight every fight completely around and really giving an advantage to Kingslayers, and DRkILLxJOY is supplying that advantage for Flourish.
Absolutely. Yeah, the physical carry just turns out to be a really solid choice, a really solid notch in their belt at the moment. Going to be looking to try to bring down the Phoenix, another accolade to their name, Flourish. 4 members right now in this right-hand lane, and we also see in the mid lane, though, szax going to try to do a little bit of distraction job of dropping quite low as szax right now, going to be in a bit of trouble as well in the mid lane, but this Phoenix is remaining quite healthy at the moment, so szax going to be removed out of that fight, going to drop over to the left lane there, see what's going on over there, not too much at the moment. The end of days is going to provide a decent amount of damage right now, but DRkILLxJOY is going to ensure that they remain locked in that cage.
All 5 members of Kingslayers are plenty healthy, and Flourish has to back up as 4. Xarxith is in the mid lane, separated from the pack, and everybody's getting poked out. This is where having the magical ADC works best for Kingslayers, is on the defense of the siege, getting to sit back and cast where you couldn't step forward and send those autos. This is the exact type of moment where it excels, and Xarxith is using it to its perfect potential. And Kingslayers has to keep utilizing this defense, play an aggressive defense, and you can turn this fight and actually manage to maybe win off of it.
Meanwhile, we do see over here that szax continuing that push. That enhanced fire drain is going to regen back to nearly full. Wise there from szax to rely on and trust that fire giant buff to keep themselves sustained and healthy. And now they're just going to be right back in the fight, harassing right now our friend CEO. Oh. Actually, wait hold a second, though. The damage is being supplied and brought. szax going to feel it. Dropped immediately. One member of fire giant down. Quite low right now. Also, those post-drama. The front line is being eliminated as we speak of Flourish.
We'll see how aggressive Kingslayers plays as they go in, but they weren't super healthy to begin with. Xarxith leads the way. A1's caught out and falls down to Tiamat.
The Xarxith Tiamat is coming into play on the defensive, and now as we turn on to the offensive right now, full-scale retreat are all members of Flourish right now. 3 members in tow right now. Post-drama, very low. If they can get just a bit more initiation right now, you can't imagine they might be able to catch up. But hold on a second. That offense looking quite hefty. Might not be able to. Maybe going to expend that ability a bit too early. They're going to use that sigils just intimidate post-drama. Let him know, hey, I could have done it. But Xarxith is looking for this. Xarxith is hungry. Xarxith wants to consume souls.
I like the route here. Could go for the jump, but the wall is outplaying Xarxith. Gonna have to just send the minion over. Could not fully commit. The walls in year 10 have shown up again. Kingslayers, though, gonna turn this into a fire giant wisely. And everything that they did there was played to perfection. They didn't lose a Phoenix. They got damage done. They got picks. They get an EFG.
Yeah, what it honestly came down to was a really solid just solo kill there from the CEO. I wasn't quite sure what just supplied all that damage, but when we got that full combo, that full kit off onto the Thor, there really wasn't much that szax could do to stop it, and was just dropped in that unfortunately left them at a major disadvantage, because of course then CEO can just wander on over and say, hey, what's going on here? A 4v5? A 4v4, let's make it a 4v5 now, and then Flourish began to fall apart.
Yeah, very much the frat boy at a party approach. What's going on? Hey, where are the drinks?
Yeah, exactly. That is exactly what was going on there. Robin is a massive, massive party boy. If you guys didn't know, that's part of the lore.
Yeah, that's why Robin's on a team with Bacchus. They're the they're the Rob Bach.
They bring the drinks, and the ratio on the team is also
ratio.
But we have the Primal Fury here, going to be falling. There's a little consolation prize for Flourish. They're going to try to console themselves with some extra golden pocket, but I don't know. EFG right now, we're not going to be looking to loop up too much right now at the moment. It seems everyone's content to just farm up a little bit more on the side of Kingslayers. Going to check on the empty pit. That looks nice, doesn't it, Lana? Yeah. Retreat on back, though. You got to imagine that there's still quite a bit of towers in the field here. I would like to see them just knock down all these before making a sort of push to one of the lanes, but they might decide to just move down this carry lane, this dual lane Phoenix, try to get some fire minions on the board. Actually, you know what? I think that could also be a wise decision, but the issue you're going to find with that is, as we said, lack of physical hyper carry. This base defense is going to be easy for you in the sense that you have abilities to ward everyone off with, but a base attack, far different story.
Yeah, the Polynomicon is going to be the big thing here for the tower, and there we see it utilized to get rid of that tower. Oh, shoot.
I didn't even notice that pickup. You're very right.
But the Phoenixes will be a different story, because your main worker for these Phoenixes is going to be CEO and Xarxith using that Polynomicon, but they've got to get to it. You don't have Berserkers, so it's going to be an uphill battle for these Phoenixes.
But at least the towers will fall like dominoes so much as we're going across here. And they're following right now. Flourish really cares about this solo lane tower, it seems. They say, hey, you can have the other ones, but not that one right now. Post-drama going to lock them in place a little bit, but Xarxith's going to be able to just leap on over that. Right now, trapped inside his Lana, but Lana doesn't really mind that right now. A lot of damage coming out with End of Days, but Gab is quite low as well. We're going to have to Aegis on out, but be fallen by DRkILLxJOY.
Huge stun! Oh my god! The double Thor! Into the double! And Flourish might take the game here!
Triple kill there for DRkILLxJOY, but we know what was really responsible. Double Thor dunk. It's looking like NBA 2K right now, because they just brought it down on them. Shattered backboard. They're broken body parts littered over the floor right now. Kingslayers are in shambles. Flourish will walk right down middle lane and bring themselves a victory.
The Asgardian boys get to run it down mid, and Flourish gets to clean up the victory. That was one of the grossest combinations of the Morgan you will ever see.
Realty does not give a crap about what we say about this Thor, like, not adjusting off it. They said, watch me do it again. I'll do it a third time, a fourth time. Oh, you like that? A fifth time. And you know what? It worked. Can't blame it. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And the only thing that's broke right now is Kingslayers spirits. We'll see you at the desk.
I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home.
Hello and welcome on back. You just saw something pretty exciting if you're watching the same game that me and Anthony were. Anthony, talk to me about that ending engagement.
I'm borderline emotional. The utilization of the double Thors there. We saw it all game long. We even talked about the fact that Kingslayers could expect it, but in that moment, grouping up by the Chaos Blue buff, they were not expecting it, and they got doubled onto the 3 people. DRkILLxJOY cleaned house for the kills, and Flourish had what seemed like a very difficult defense into one of the easiest walk down mid lanes, win the games we'll probably see this season.
And it's not even for like lack of brilliant initiations and plays as well from the Kingslayers. They had their great moves. We saw that base defense grow. That was paid dividends for them, but they just weren't able to make it happen past. They just never found a way. They only had like one engagement. They were able to really counter out that double dunk, and it just continued to be a massive issue. They're just dunking them like Oreos right there, man. It was crazy how amazingly that comp ended up working out. It just seemed that they had a vision and they saw it to fruition.
Yeah, you know, we haven't seen this once this season. I would be so tilted by what just happened. I would even consider the Morgan ban. I mean, the Thor ban would probably be smarter because Realty obviously abused the Thor, but like that is a straight tilter for me. I mean, I guess we'll have to wait and see in game number 2, but there's a lot that could be changed.
I agree. I think, honestly, personally, the Thor ban would make more sense just because I think that when you have a conventional pick, you can knock out of the way as well as knocking out the cogs that make this machine work, that machine that is Flourish work. Taking out the 2 birds with 1 stone might be the best policy, but we're going to only have to there's only one way to find out right now, and it's to check out the next game. I'm excited. I'm sure you guys all are at home. We'll see you in a moment for game 2.
Cigarettes lit. Pull another of your cigarettes out. Fuck, I always feel so burned out. I never smoked before I met you. Now I chain smoke the way I like to kiss you. Cause I know you're with them while I'm here, staring at a red light. Stopped, windows down, cursing at the street signs. When every road could lead me back to the memories that we once had, yeah. Tell me how this so easily falls apart. Cause damn, you still fucking have my heart. And all I have is another of your cigarettes lit, but not a single fuck left to give. I could explode, I feel like gasoline when you're mad at me. Lit a match in the wind, so I'm asking please. I try to cope, go through the motions, no, I got a noose around my throat. Fuck, I love you, but I know that I should let you go. Situations got me pressed and I'm on overload. I'm on overload, so another of your cigarettes out. Fuck, I always feel so burned out. I never smoked before I met you. Now I chain smoke the way I like to kiss you. Cause I know you're with them while I'm here, staring at a red light. Stopped, windows down, cursing at the street signs. When Every road could lead me back to the memories that we once had, yeah. Tell me how this so easily falls apart. Cause damn, you still fucking have my heart. Tell me how this so easily falls apart. Cause damn, you still fucking have my heart. And all I have is another of your cigarettes lit. I don't wanna feel as cold as the winter. Let me sink into your bedroom floor. Lovely how lonely we are together. Crazy how I hold on for a little more. Drive into the night. I miss you sleeping. Where did you go? As soft as you're breathing, you left me alone. And I miss the late nights. So where did you go? Cause you were my safe ride. Now I drive alone. Drugs don't hit like they used to. Never as high as it was when I'm with you. So I drink to cope, it's an issue, okay. New Year's Day, so now it's a new me. Tell me why I'm so fucking lonely. I don't know why you won't love me the same. Drive into the night. I miss you sleeping. Where did you go? As soft as you're breathing, you left me alone. And I miss the late nights. So where did you go? Cause you were my safe ride. Now I drive alone. I miss you sleeping. As soft as you're breathing, you left me alone. I miss the late nights. Cause you were my safe ride. Now I drive alone. I miss you sleeping. Where did you go? As soft as you're breathing, you left me alone. And I miss the late nights. So where did you go? Cause you were my safe ride. Now I drive alone. I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. When we were on, I'd always thought we would make it. But now you're gone, baby, you're a ghost. I'm caught up in a landslide, mental on the low end. When I used to feel alive, now there's a hole in the city, can't feel shit. Where do I go? Cause I know you don't feel this. Can't catch a break for God's sakes. Feel like I'm waking up and I'm caught in the wake. Yeah, I know this is my funeral on parade. I did it to myself cause I always thought you would feel the same. And I know you don't. Drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, parachute, jumping out the plane. You had it all in front of you, nothing feels the same. It's crazy what love can do, even crazier when it's not coming back to you. You say you need space, so I gave you all the states. Every night a different place. Used to think we're getting closer, now we're drifting away. And all I can say is that I'm feeling wasted. I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone out, that shit's broke.
Hello, everyone. Game 2, Week 3, Immortal Division, Smite Draft League. We are here, unfortunately, due to some technical difficulties. We were not able to provide the picks and bans, but don't worry, because we can see them right here. In fact, we have some interesting picks here, and some interesting bans as well. Well, honestly, quite the bans are quite typical, but some interesting picks. I'm liking the Sobek.
Yeah, the Sobek for post is exciting to see. We did see the Surtur ban come out from Flourish. The big one I want to draw attention to is Kingslayers took Thor off the table, so they agreed with us. They did not want to deal with the Thor again. They were willing to deal with the Morgan from Realty and the game knowledge to just get rid of the dunks. And we did see Realty take away the Tiamat from Xarxith, which led to Xarxith picking up the On Her. So I finally get to see Xarxith run a physical ADC, which Kingslayers was lacking in the damage for with structures. I'm excited to see that.
Absolutely. Thorgan Morgan also. Anthony, moonlighting as a rapper real quick when they're not casting in their free time. Nice job there, Anthony. But no, I definitely agree with you. I think that's a change that's definitely necessary. We talked about how, yes, it's nice when you're on the back foot to have that magical hyper carry, but you don't want to be playing to be on the back foot. You want to be playing to aggress. And right now this comp is spelling out aggression for me. I want to see this Mercury getting kills early.
I do as well, but the buffs are here, Deelo, so take it away.
We will get on into it. Yes, once again, I'm Deelo, joined here by Anthony Malum here. You're seeing Game 2. Will Kingslayers be able to claw their way back into this match right now, being down 1, or will Flourish take it? Once again, the Tiamat now we will see actually being reversed. Realty going to be putting that one to work this time. So obviously you're going to imagine that they know the tricks of the Tiamat, but can they still play it? Because we know that even when you're expecting a trick, it can still work to perfection when it's put in the hands of Realty.
I'm also looking at the solo lane. We see A1 pick the King Arthur, but we did see BillyMays go the Osiris, which was a target ban in game number 1. So giving up a target ban to get a new target ban and get rid of the Thor is risky, but it was worth it in the mind of Kingslayers, so we'll have to see how it works out.
I like seeing ZombieBillyMays in this Osiris. It's a god that you're able to do a bit more of what ZombieBillyMays loves to do, which is harass. You can throw out those spirit flails, those sickles, so easily, just really without a care in the world. And right now, A1 is finding that out as they're taking quite a bit of poke right now from the enemy solo.
Yeah, the fighting game character King Arthur is having a tough time in this scenario. The minion wave is doing a lot of the work, but it's being well played by BillyMays. I still am not huge on the Warrior's Axe, but later on I could see it turn into Axe of Animosity, so could be an interesting route to take, and a lot of damage for sure. I'm also looking to see if this is going to be an early gank from the Mercury.
Yeah, looks to be that CEO's looking for something going to be blinking, and once again, that aggressive blink there from CEO, but the tail can provide a decent amount of self-peel right there. The Rolling Thunder going to get a bit of CC as well. Both team members of Flourish providing a nice amount of peel. CEO going to have to walk away with a used blink and nothing in their hands for that one.
That was so well played by Flourish. That's the best possible way to respond to a gank, is just to walk away. Now Szax contesting the shield buff, backs CEO off of it and should secure the speed buff, but maximum velocity popped. It's a duel for the shield.
And putting up the beads right there to avoid the special delivery right now. Gonna be relying on that damage from the abilities. Not gonna quite find it there, but DRxKILLxJOY will follow up. CEO gonna be the first blood. Not gonna have the damage there. Is Lana to really do quite anything with that. Unfortunate there. The presence of the enemy jungler on the Kingslayers was just there for a bit too long. Szax gonna provide the damage to get that first blood for them.
We didn't get to talk about it too much, but I really like the Athena here for Lana. I mean, the Bacchus was not the issue, certainly, but there's a lot of scenarios where I think of an Athena could have been something that really helped Kingslayers, especially at the end there, maybe getting away from the dunk, having a taunt up, you know, just an idea of what could have changed there from game 1. But game 2, I really do like this Athena. Plus, Athena into On Her is a nice combo. Anything to help you land an impale.
There's a lot of good synergy and counter synergy here. I'm really liking the Sobek pick for now. Now that I just look at the comps here, matching up. There's a lot of great reasons why this is good. Mercury and Osiris both want to get in your face and just constantly landing autos, and Sobek, we saw it when it came to CEO trying to gank right there, just got tail whipped away, and that's going to give you enough space to make sure you can reassess your positioning, try to dash on out of there, and be just fine from that fight. So honestly, I'm really liking this pick from PostDRAMA. Just gonna have to make sure those initiations are well timed, because you know that when you're Sobek, you're potentially suicide bombing yourself into the enemy team if you're not hitting those plucks.
Yeah, 100%. I do like the Sobek into the Ishtar as well, getting to pluck into a lot of damage. Maybe a pluck into a shotgun auto could be pretty disgusting. So, an exciting dual lane to watch. Makes you wish that the supports hung out just a wee bit longer, but as we all know, he'll be gone plenty soon. Now, A1 taking a lot of poke here from ZombieBillyMays, but not enough for the Lord of the Afterlife under the tower, at least not yet.
I mean, ZombieBillyMays is fine to eat that, have A1 eat that damage. Gonna look to get that buff, but no, it was all a bait. Gonna take a bit more damage from that Spirit Flail. I'm also liking, just continuing to talk about just all the differences that we're seeing here. Gabba on this Yuwong. I've seen Gabba put in work from Yuwong, and also I like how Yuwong just has that easy self-peel there, easy escape when it comes to the Pearl Dragon. Not having to expend an ult defensively, rather just an ability that's on the easy cooldown, is a far better alternative to me than the Morgan Le Fay.
Yeah, Yu Huang is a character that Gabba picked up towards the latter half of Season 1, and it really benefits Gabba's playstyle. Getting poked out very badly, and there it is, Celestial Flight, right to safety. It works well with Gabba's playstyle, and Gabba plays it well, hits the cooldowns, dueling dragons tends to be very on point. Realty dashing in, going aggressive, gets caught out, should die, but does get the kill first.
That was a crazy amount of aggression right there. We saw a different flight of a different dragon right there. Realty leaping on in, but gonna take a flight on back to the fountain right there, as we do see CEO is there to support. I like the idea. If CEO was not there, that would have been a nice clean kill, but an unfortunate there. But gonna get your mid laner. You know, it's a mid for mid trade there. We're happy with that one. But a kill in the pocket of a Mercury is a dangerous thing.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it could have been a bait there from Gabba. Maybe not expecting to die. Maybe wanted to get that Celestial Flight off. I mean, did die with beads up, so that could have been the play there, and maybe it took just a bit too much damage, more than she was expecting. But regardless, like you said, big kill for CEO and a nice little defense there underneath the tower.
Absolutely. We're just going to see. Come on, guys. We know that you're not going to kill each other. Just going to be smacking, trading autos, just to, you know, put some respect on each other's names. Respectable here. PostDRAMA going to be looking for baiting out that Pearl Dragon. Honestly, good. Just put that on cooldown as much as you can. As fearing the option there from PostDRAMA is really what that is, because we know the amount of damage that Realty can already do, and that pluck is a scary, scary thing when you're in the middle of the lane.
Yeah, it is. And Realty, like you said, not only do we know Realty can do the damage, but Tiamat can drop a lot in a kit dump off of a pluck, so got to be careful with it. Now a lot of damage coming out again, and the pluck hits this time.
But the taunt there, Sonic Boom actually going to put them out of range of it, though, it seemed. A lot of damage not going to be really provided right now. I was about to say those basics aren't going to be doing too much right now. Mercury plucked back in. The Ruination not going to quite find its mark, though. The coordination was just a bit off there from the team.
Great shell in response. DRkILLxJOY is close around, but just securing the green buff for now. Will not rotate, but it does stop CEO from having anywhere to go heal at the moment. Jungle going to give the HP 5. And I don't think it's going to be re-engaged, but it's going to be close. And Xarxith was not prepared quite for Killjoy to come back. Maybe was looking for a cheeky impale. But the fight in mid was really a weird one, to say the least. I'm surprised there was not more kills there. Like, everybody was open for it.
I mean, there was just a few small misplays. Really, the one that I think was pivotal there was the unfortunate miss from Realty of the Ruinations. Maybe not understanding that their support was about a pluck first. You got to get your PEMDAS right. You know, the understanding of the order of operations there. We need to see post-pluck first and then drop the damage. Keep them in the back line, or keep them as far back as possible for as long as possible. So dropping that stun and waiting for your support to make it easy to drop that stun, I think would have been the wiser play. But unfortunately, not going to be coming to fruition there. But this amount of damage there. Tearing the Veil. The Pearl Dragon Celestial Ascent is going to be good right now. Unfortunately, missed the second one, but not going to be quite enough. PostDRAMA can pick up that kill in favor of Flourish right now, and following up Lana's next on the menu.
And CEOs after that double kill for Zach should open up a gold Fury. Xarxith will be around to contest, but it's a 1v4 for it. Desert Fury is not online either, so really just got to look to survive and maybe try to throw an impale. Nothing more than that, and Zax does not want to let Xarxith in.
Defender of Olympus right now coming in. The aggressive leap right now to try to get some secure going on here. The ult is still up, but Silas right now not going to be able to actually do much about it. Flourish is going to get that Gold Fear right now. Seemingly cost-free, in fact. Going to retreat on back. We're seeing a lot more early aggression and a lot more opening of the map very early. We didn't see this kind of play from the objectives until much later in the game 1. Flourish is looking to bring this one to a heel quickly.
That was really close there for Xarxith. Barely survives. Tearing the Veil almost went right in the perfect spot, but the jump was enough to stay safe, and that Cleo wanted that on her.
Yeah, I mean, that was an unfortunate case there where Xarxith was just not able to do quite much because szax was doing a great job zoning him out. Silencing, deafening, doing as much as you can to harass that on her to make sure that it couldn't be a factor in securing that Gold Fury. It was the right idea. The Defender of Olympus was definitely a scary thing to see because you knew someone else was going to be coming to that fight, bringing on the power, but just not going to be quite enough damage to bring it. Flourish is going to secure this advantage right now in the early. By no means are Kingslayers out of it, but this is aggression they were not used to in the first game that's coming on already within these first under 10 minutes.
And it's being used to perfection, and, you know, getting that map pressure early, especially against a traditional team comp, really limits the kind of farm you can have. I mean, look at how much farm they're taking away. Almost 3k experience, almost 2,500 gold. There's essentially nothing for Kingslayers to do to farm up right now, and it just puts them in such a weird spot where you can't even leave your side of the map.
Yeah, and as far as the people that are going to be rotating around the map, you have CEO, they're going to be starting to build up that crit, but if you're not finding many kills right now, which your team is unfortunately not only going to be accumulating the gold up slower to start getting those stacks online, so it's going to take you longer to get those stacks, just getting the item online, but it's going to take you longer in general to get those stacks because no one's dropping much right now. It seems that CEO is going to really be up to them for the initiation for the Kingslayers.
Yeah, that's kind of the big problem with the composition. It's not that it's a bad one, but I mean, that's kind of the problem with any character with a taunt in any type of game, right? You have to utilize that taunt to get the aggression in, and then you leave yourself vulnerable. But in particular, what's going to be tough for me is Lana is going to have to use that taunt, play very aggressive, but that's also Osiris's game plan. So now your front line is heavy frontlining, and what does that leave your back line with?
Yeah, I'm looking to see. Oh, hold on a second. As we see a big movement on the Xarxith there, the Menac's going to come right back up, though. A lot of damage there from the ults from both the Kalita as well as the Ishtar. Gonna find the kill there on the Xarxith.
That's a big one, but we're not done yet. We got 2 under the tower, and we got Flourish playing very aggressive. DRkILLJOY finds Lana, and CEO can just watch from around the wall and has to put on the speedy boots and get out of there.
Yeah, you can't dash through those walls, buddy. You have to take the long way around there. szax, though, can take the express pass, the flash pass. They're right through there to grab that purple buff for themselves. They're really looking to just put this on early. They're not looking to let this Mercury get to late game or see it whatsoever. 7 kills for Flourish to 1 from Kingslayers.
Yeah, Flourish has this game completely unlocked. Forcing the Celestial Flight there is Realty on a GABA. And it feels like there's not a lot Kingslayers can do to get back in the game. That was their problem in game number 1. I mean, they were able to do it eventually, but the problem with it happening in this game is Flourish's team comp is not that easy to just turn fights around. I mean, Cleo's level 13, got 3 kills online, going full damage. It's just nothing there.
And Cleo's capable of such damage, stacking up the Transcendence once that's fully stacked, and you're going to be able to with the amount of farm and kills that are capable on the hands of szax right now. That's going to be really scary. Kalita has some very heavy damaging abilities. That dash can do mountain tons of that. CEO has this rage online, but what good is it going to do you when it's not stacked up right now? I'm really worried about the positioning that Kingslayer's in at the moment.
Yeah. Oh. Look around the corner. You see that Mercury Larkin? Maybe one make a play happen. Still none.
Sonic Boom, though, is not up at the moment, so really not going to be able to get quite any engage on it yet.
So the reason I bring it up is I wish we could have seen more pressure put on this dual lane. We might still see it, but I would have loved to see them try to get Xarxith ahead on this on her. I mean, no longer on this Tiamat, going the full power pen build. Getting the Xarxith ahead here, it would have been huge for her and huge for Kingslayers, but now the opportunity may be gone.
Gonna try to pull back in. Just make Lana fear for their life a little bit right now. Lana gonna be on the retreat though right now. Gonna be ulting to where? Where are you going right now? It seems just the mid lane. Gonna take a little traipse over there, see what's going on.
She's got places to be. Take it easy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I honestly didn't think it was quite necessary, but better play safe than sorry when you're already at this disadvantage. But it's just another tool that is off the board for Kingslayers in the next fight. You might start to see them aggressing a little bit in this general area. But hold on a second, ZombieBillyMays has made the rotation, whereas their opponent using solo laner A1 is content to farm in solo by themselves.
But Postmate baited them in as now Cleo's around the corner and is blowing up CEO. There's tearing the veil, but CEO is not going to fall for that. Like a bull in the Bronx, gets out of there away from the Cleo. But now we've got two in front of Realty, and Realty's dealing damage.
On with no follow-up right now. Is going to follow up. CEO, that lazy back's not going to get you anywhere. The Realty in the back. DRkILLxJOY going to follow up and get Gabba. Right now, ZombieBillyMays in full retreat. Realty with a double kill right now. Where even was that? Back in the Gold Fury, but was continuing to wreak havoc as his Tiamat. Gonna retreat on back. 3 members now, 10-1 for Flourish. It's looking really, really dire.
If Realty was a Smite character, their passive would be spawning in characters to kill.
Yeah, be a really good one at that. szax still looking to be a bit of trouble right now. Xarxith's going to try to maybe counter that oppression a little bit right now. Pillar, tearing the veil, going to ward off any pressure right there that's been had. Xarxith's going to wisely back off, realizing that backup was certainly on the way.
And that's one of the problems with going this pen build versus the crit build DRkILLxJOY is going. I mean, if you look, the damage is there for Xarxith in terms of what can be dished out. You've got the Transcendence into the Bloodforge. The power numbers are insane, but the power spike for DRkILLxJOY is just significantly above and beyond what Beyond Her can offer right now. I mean, you can see it in a 1v1. Xarxith just cannot compete realistically unless every single ability hits. Then there's an opportunity. So come team fights, the problem's going to be Xarxith can delete a tank, but not yet, while DRkILLxJOY can delete everything right now.
It's a win more item on the side of Xarxith right now when you're not winning it. Well, sadly, that Bloodforge might be a good pick when it comes to that. You're right, absolutely right. It can be very good when you're turning those late game fights. But right now, you're not going to be doing that. Sonic Boom, they're looking to make something happen right now for the Kingslayers. CEO lurking around that corner, but you have to imagine that Flourish is privy to that right now. And you can see they're not lining up right now. Very wise position here. szax's going to find a kill on a Gabba. Where even was that right now? Stealthy cleaner right there. Going to have to ult on out. Once again, this ult's used defensively there for Lana right there to go dive on the CEO. And we do see that A1 has joined the battle. Finally, the solo is here and is going to bring the hurt onto the opposing solos. ZombieBillyMays is going to have to use that ult defensively to leap on out.
And they're all grouped up and they're chasing down heavy. They only find Billy Mays, and now they're going to turn for the Pyromancer. Oh, they're going to turn for fire? This is an aggressive call, but look at the ward coverage. Oh my god, they're going to get this.
Yeah, and right now in the mid lane, Xarxith's seemingly not privy to it, or maybe just understanding that you don't have the damage and ability to do much about it either. But you're absolutely right, that ward coverage is paying dividends right now, as they're going to grab a 15-minute fire. This change up of place, I was like we're watching a completely different team right now. Flourish has just decided to, with at the drop of a hat, increase the speed, never take their foot off the gas pedal.
And it's working out. It's an immaculate play style when it works right, and Flourish is using it to its full advantage. Whoever's making the shot calls for this one has been picture perfect. Sonic Boom in mid onto Realty, but jumps away and kind of wants to take the 1v2. That's Realty gaming for you. Still alive. Under the tower they go, but they can't quite find it. Realty survives? Excuse me?
How? There was 3 right there standing up against. Realty's just got the intimidation factor, yo. Realty's just got that swag wandering around. Hey, I know you're not going to try to ult me under this tower right now. And they're not. CEO going to have to leave that one alone. I don't know, man. I think you kind of had to go for that.
It's a tough call. I mean, you could have taken the fire off of the team up, but how much would have been worth you everybody alive to defend right now, because it is an early fire giant. An early fire giant kind of works like late fire giant, to where you can actually look to contest because it isn't doing anything too drastic. I mean, it's doing work, but not as much as it will in, say, 10 minutes. But
I'm not gonna lie, I think morally it's also a pretty big factor, though. That was a big pluck right there.
And there goes Gabba. POSTDRAMA gets credit for the kill. 2 now for the support, trying to stat pad those support numbers, but gonna die to the tower. And Mercury gets credit for it. Post, you stat pad in the wrong one.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's CEO gonna get. I don't even know how did the Sonic Boom hit quite. It seemed that like barely by a breath, maybe got the Sobek there. Tower gonna, in fact, ensure that death. But CEO gonna be happy to take that kill, get a stack of rage on there. Finally.
Yeah, and that's the risk with rage. I mean, it's so much easier to stack. It isn't as I mean, it's necessary, but it isn't as detrimental if you can't get it stacked as it used to be. But still, I mean, everything currently just feels like it's a down and out for Kingslayers, and any small victory, even like Rage stack, is huge. I mean, the Tablet Destiny stacks for GABA are also very low, only 5 right now on the Yu Huang. Just nothing is doing damage right now for Kingslayers, and they desperately need it. I mean, the damage charts can tell you that. Their highest damaging member has not even cracked 7k damage yet, and that's a solo laner who I think Cosmic would say it best. That's Mickey damage.
A lot of that damage too is probably just coming from poke damage. It's not going to be substantial burst down there. You know, Osiris isn't providing that. It's not the job of Osiris. Osiris is supposed to 100 to 0 you right now, so it's really dire. And also the itemization, right? We're seeing like full items ahead. We're seeing for the support. We're seeing, you know, tier 2 items ahead for a lot of the hyper damage the carries here, and the jungle as well. It's just I don't know how the Kingslayers can fight their way back into this one without waiting for Flourish to really bumble.
Yeah, and that was the difference with game 1 so far to game 2, right? In game 1, Kingslayers was enough in it that any slight mistake from Flourish they could capitalize. Kingslayers could get a deicide right now on Flourish, and the most they're going to get off of it would be some farm, a objective that isn't on the map, and a tower. Oh, CEO sneaking up on DRkILLxJOY.
But you had 2 levels on him, man. Blinking in, but excellent reaction times there. This man's has got the dexterity right there. The pillar not going to quite find it, though. Ult galore right now. Egg is going to be expended there, but DRkILLxJOY going to keep him alive for a little bit longer.
Xarxith accidentally blocked CEO with his own honors pillar. That's one of the most unfortunate series of events I've ever seen happen to a Mercury, and now Flourish is going to make them pay.
CEO been thrown back into the fight forcibly. Didn't want to be part of it, but you are now, buddy. Seems that the jungle fight will end with szax gaining that kill right there. And Honor is the one who lives. You know that CEO's going to be a bit pressed about that one. Watching Xarxith, unfortunately, foil that gank. Just a bit of miscommunication can really make things turn for the worse.
So unlucky, certainly not intentional, but frustrating nonetheless, especially when you're losing 14-2. The gold lead is now hit above 10k. It is a rough place to be for Kingslayers, and that was the last thing you needed to happen. That hurts to watch because it's just it's not like it was intentional, but it's just,
of course not.
Ouch.
No, ouch is definitely the way to say it, and I think CEO would agree as they're still 3 seconds down there. Fire Giant back up, and you can only imagine that Flourish with the level and item lead and just in general morale lead that they have are going to be engaging this right off the bat. And they're all grouping up, you see here. The question is, though, what will Kingslayers do to contest if they indeed try to?
It's a dangerous contest. You cannot match the damage right now. Look at the player damage charts to back up that. You're kind of just stuck. I mean, you've got to loosely contest everything while also not being able to contest anything.
I think, while I do like the Honor Athena pairing generally, it can also be a detriment when we see, in general, a lot of the CC that we're seeing provided from these people, it can be counterintuitive when employed in the wrong type. For example, if you taunt in the with the Athena first, which is generally going to be your initiation you're going to be seeing from Lana to start the team fight off, and then we see maybe an Impale coming out from Xarxith. Unless there's a well-timed pillar there, well-placed pillar there to stun someone up against, you're just going to be pushing out the enemy out from away from your team when they really want to be considered in one location to do a lot of damage to. So we need to see that kind of cohesive CC chain that this comp, which I thought that the last comp that Kingslayers had didn't really have very easily, especially because the Ganesh was so easily interrupting their CC chains. But here we're not seeing it either, despite it being a lot more easily accessible on Lana's taunts.
Yeah, I did mention wanting to see the hard CC from Kingslayers, and we got it this game, but the problem this game is they haven't had the damage to follow up on their hard CC, so they're having the opposite problem. Although now they've got Szax caught out. We'll see if they make anything happen with it.
No, not quite. POSTDRAMA going to be... Wait, hold on a second. Into you, CEO! Sliced up, diced up in the left lane. This guy's playing Fruit Ninja.
And there's the blink in from Post. The Pluck's going to get stopped, but Post is going to lurk on out of there. Xarxith claims her first kill on the Honor, but it might be too little too late. Double kill for A1.
Leaping on in right there, we see Lana desperately trying to retreat, but DRkILLxJOY, there's that name for that reason, gonna unfortunately deny that option right there. 4 members strong still here for the members of Flourish. 3 members down on the Kingslayers. They're gonna loop around to get these Phoenixes, the safe play, the wise play.
They do have to be a bit safer. Xarxith is doing damage now. Look at the damage being done to A1, but look at the return damage from Szax, piercing the veil. Pulled through strong there.
The Spirit Flail's not going to be enough to save you, my friend. Going to retreat to the fountain, have enough health maybe to get back in this fight. We do see CEO's got the clap ready. Going to try to line them all up for something big here. Maybe potentially bring this back. 4 members now in this. And at half health right now, DRkILlJOY is going to have to reconsider. We know A1's pretty tanky, but it's still a bit of a risk right there. A nice concerted retreat there, but it seems like they're looking to pursue. Might be a bit dicey there for you, though, if they turn this around. szax lurking in the walls right now.
It was a dangerous call to try to end, but an even better call to back away. But Kingslayers had to make the call to chase there, because if you got picks there, that would have been an opening back in. But they couldn't find it, and now you're back on the defense, plus minus 2 Phoenixes. Granted, they've got the important Phoenix up, but I don't know how much it's going to help in this scenario, because they're so far down. They are absolutely farm deprived, and it's just an uphill battle doesn't even begin to describe the scenario.
Famine is a problem, and we are seeing it here in this game as the Kingslayers are malnourished. Please, won't you donate? Just a bit of gold can really save them. 5 pieces of gold can really save a hyper carry in this case. But no, it's unfortunate that we're seeing this, because I was liking the adjustments made just from the pixel on. That's what we wanted to see. We were talking about how comp was a big issue here. They brought those changes, but sadly, I just think that Flourish did a great job in completely switching the amount of aggression and the pace of this game. They decided it, and they never let Kingslayers have a say in that. And I don't think Kingslayers were used to that. They weren't understanding that this is a completely different team right now, a completely different Flourish that we're seeing in this game too.
And a completely different Flourish indeed. And look at the damage being done to CEO. Plucked back in. Blades of Retribution. Everything's dropped, and it gets the kill.
And that's just already a massive boon to them right now. CEO having ult in hand, not going to be able to get that off is quite a sad state of affairs. POSTDRAMA taking quite a bit of damage right there, but doing their job well, going to be able to tank that one and still providing a bit of support in the back, lurking around for moral support. What a good support right there. And it seems that A1 is going to be doing their job, harassing all 3 Phoenixes now down. We see ZombieBillyMays is over on right lane playing cleanup patrol, but your friends need you at the moment. It's pretty rough. But it's all you can do. It's all you can do is to try to fend off these massive amounts of minions that are coming in to just stomp your Titan.
And see, it's not even just defending off. You have to farm. They're not even done farming yet. Only Xarxith is level 20, and she's not even full build. So they have no option but to clear minions, but clearing minions could lead to your end. They basically have to farm where they can and then play throne room defense and hope that it works. But this Fire Giant's going to get cleared, and I just expect Flourish to run it at the Titan, because there's no reason not to.
Yeah, at this point, honestly, you have every reason to run on in there right now. You have the level lead, you have the item lead, and now you have a fire around all 5 members of your team's belt. There's a massive amount of tools. Good job there using the, I mean, honestly, not necessary quite to use the tear the veils there, but they come back up there just like an Ogni bomb. You have a couple charges of those, so gonna be probably up at the next fight. So they're coming in with full resources. Everyone's got ults right now, though, to expend on the Kingslayers as well, so you're going to hope that they're using them wisely in defense right now of their team.
Looks like they're going to wait out the right side Phoenix and then look to push in unless they find a pick here. If I'm Flourish, I don't even care about the pick. I'm just walking at the Titan.
Again, I mean, yeah, this is no one who can really provide enough damage to really make you care about it. And you can see it's being poked out. Hold on a second. Couple crits, though, coming in right now. CEO with some guerrilla tactics right now, going to dive back in. The Aegis was expended there, you see, onto szax. Not going to have that in any next engagement like that. But it's just not enough. Back up to full right now is szax.
And they reset the Titan once, which could be an issue. Flourish could walk in at any moment, and Kingslayers is just trying to stay ready. Fire minions are inside.
Xarxith is straying a little bit from the team right now. Separated right now. Going to leap back in just to get anywhere close back to the fountain. And it seems that the damage is now coming on the middle Phoenix. Going to be brought right back down. That bird was not there for long. Plucked 10%. Back into the team fight is Xarxith. And wait, the team fight doesn't even matter because the Titan has been dropped. The aggression and the speed of this game. Flourish has made it happen. Going to make this a 2-0, giving Kingslayers no chance to get back into it. We'll see you at the desk for the wrap-up.
I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't.
Welcome back, everyone, from this very high-intensity, fast-paced game 2. They were speedrunning it on the side of Flourish right there. Kingslayers, unfortunately, not going to be able to quite put up the defense they might have hoped. Anthony, what are our thoughts for this wrap-up of the game 2?
I guess I just want to thank everybody for watching Games Done Quick. No, it just... I talked about it. Kingslayers, they didn't. It's not that they played it so badly. It's that they couldn't get any damage online quick enough to compete with Flourish. So unlike game 1, where they were able to kind of, like you said, claw their way back in, that they didn't have that option in game 2 because they just could never do damage. They could only accept the damage being put forth by Flourish and try to respond. If this game went another 10-15 minutes, there's probably a world where team composition wise Kingslayers could have turned things around, but there wasn't a world or a universe where it was going to go that much longer because Flourish was just a complete machine that game.
Yeah, they really moved like a well-oiled machine. The speed and aggression that they had the entire time, never letting up on it, they just didn't have much to do at that point. You wanted to see those early ganks, that early aggression come from the Mercury, from CEO, and there were a few attempts at it, but they just didn't go quite the way. We saw some early miscommunication, some early sloppy ganks that potentially, if had gone correctly, if had been a bit more well executed, could have really spelled for something a bit more beautiful there from the Kingslayers, but unfortunately just not going to make it happen. Definitely some great efforts there, some good efforts at adjustments. I appreciate that they did make sure to recognize, hey, game 1 we had a bit of a comp issue, we need to change that up and make sure we come back into a fresh start. But Flourish looking even fresher, organic.
Organic indeed. And if I'm Flourish, I'm looking at everything that we did in that game number 2, and I'm pinning that on a board and saying, how do we capture this and put lightning in a bottle? And if I'm Kingslayers, I'm looking at how they clawed and fought back in the game 1, and I'm trying to capture that, but learn how to make that happen earlier. I think if these two teams can do that, I think as we're heading into this midway point of the season, I could see both of them coming on strong and making really good pushes at the end, utilizing what they could learn from this set.
Big facts. And like you said, midpoint of the season, by no means does it spell any sort of pattern here for the Kingslayers or for Flourish. You know, you got only one way to find out, though, watching more SDL games. Thank you all very much for joining us for this Immortal Division Series, Week 3 of the Smite Draft League. Once again, I am Deelo, joined here by Anthony Malum. We had our friend iNooblet on the cams. Thanks, iNooblet. We will see you all next time.
Cigarettes out. Fuck, I always feel so burned out. I never smoked before I met you. Now I chain smoke the way I like to kiss you. Cause I know you're with them while I'm here, staring at a red light. Stopped, windows down, cursing at the street signs. When every road could lead me back to the memories